On June 21, 2006, just after midnight, a guy named Chris received a text from his girlfriend, Frauke Leibs. It read, "I'm coming home late. Don't worry." Little did he know, that simple message would be the beginning of one of Germany's most haunting mysteries. Because over the next 5 days, Frauke's phone wouldn't stay silent. She called again and again, short conversations, calm, but wrong. Almost as if someone was standing right beside her, telling her what to say. Frauke Leibs was 21 years old, a nursing student in Paderborn, Germany. Bright, friendly, and full of energy. She'd grown up in Lübeck but moved for her studies, sharing an apartment with her ex-boyfriend turned best friend, Chris. On the evening of June 20th, 2006, Frauke went out to watch the World Cup. Germany was buzzing with football fever, and she met friends at the Old Triangle, an Irish pub in Paderborn, to watch England play Sweden. She had been texting a guy named Niels earlier in the evening, but her phone battery was running low. She borrowed a friend's spare battery for a while, then returned it before heading home around 11 p.m. With only about €5 left in her pocket, walking the short distance back to her apartment was the obvious choice. Just 1.5 kilometers, 15 minutes at most. But she never arrived. At 12:49 a.m., Chris's phone buzzed with that strange message. "I'm coming home late. Don't worry." It would have seemed like a perfectly normal text if it hadn't come from Neheim, a rural town nearly 35 kilometers away. A place Frauke had no reason to be in the middle of the night. What followed over the next 5 days made this case one of the eeriest in German history. Over the following days, she made 4 more calls. Not one of them was long or detailed. She never said where she was or who she was with. She just kept repeating the same vague reassurance. "I'll be home soon." And then there were the odd details. In one call to Chris, she ended with the words, "Love you." Words Frauke had never said to him before. Not in their relationship, not as friends. To those who knew her, it felt like it wasn't her speaking. June 27th. Frauke was on the phone with her sister, Karen. And this time, Karen asked the question everyone had been thinking. "Are you being held against your will?" There was a pause. Then Frauke whispered, "Yes." Immediately after, she shouted, "No!" And the line cut, and was the last anyone ever heard from Frauke Leibs. For months, her disappearance consumed the town. After Frauke's final call on June 27th, police launched an extensive search. Officers, volunteers, friends, and family covered the streets of Paderborn, searching fields, rivers, and wooded areas, and followed every lead that came in. Her phone had repeatedly pinged cell towers around Neheim, so investigators focused much of their effort there, convinced she was being held somewhere nearby. They combed through the town and its outskirts multiple times, hoping to catch even the smallest clue. But nothing was ever found. No belongings, no signs of a struggle, not a single witness who had seen her after leaving the pub. It was as if Frauke and whoever had her were always just out of reach. Years passed with no trace of Frauke until October 4th, 2006, when a hunter made a grim discovery in the woods near Lichtenau, about 20 kilometers from Paderborn. Hidden among the trees were skeletal remains. They were Frauke's. She was still dressed in the same clothes she wore on the night she vanished, but her purse, her watch, and her phone were gone. Because of the condition of her remains, the autopsy could not determine how she died. There were no clear injuries, no signs of poisoning, no trauma, nothing that could explain the truth. Despite national coverage, televised appeals, and years of searching, no suspect has ever been identified. Her mother kept fighting for years, raising awareness, offering rewards, running a website dedicated to finding answers. But by 2023, she admitted defeat. To this day, the Frauke Leibs case remains unsolved. Share your thoughts in the comments and follow for more unsolved cases.